Hello, ladies and gentlemen. The Tokyo Game Show is in full swing, and Graham was able to interview some of the devs behind some very promising indie titles. If any game stands out to you, we've placed their details below the like button, so be sure to check them out. But without further ado, let's roll the tape.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Graham with the Game Club. I'm here from the developer of Animal Well, and we're doing an interview at Tokyo Game Show 2022. So, for those who don't know, can you tell us a little bit about your game?
Sure. So, Animal Well is it's kind of a lot of different things. It's a pixel art Metroidvania, but it's all about exploring and like finding secrets. So there's very little combat in the game, but there's a lot of puzzles and kind of a lot of optional things to discover. And the game doesn't really guide you on where to go. So there's a lot of different paths you can choose to go in whatever order you want, and you find items that like help you progress. And there's a lot of different creatures in the game, and it's not really clear if they're friendly or not. So you kind of got to like approach each thing with like sort of figure it out as you go. But yeah, it's a game I've been working on for about the past 5 years by myself. Yeah, we're showing it here in TGS. We got the game localized in Japanese. I'm excited about that.
Wow, nice.
But yeah, that's about.
Would you say, so you said that the game doesn't really tell you where to go and stuff like that. What are the kind of context clues for players to understand or like kind of navigate a little bit of the world?
Yeah, so I think it's like an interesting design challenge really to like,
Right.
I'm trying to like not use explicit tutorials and do a lot of like the kind of almost like classic Zelda, Nintendo game design kind of things where it's like you learn through trial and error, or you're forced to have a learning moment before making progress, and also I give the players like a lot of options when like, so if they can't figure out a puzzle, there's usually another one they can go try to solve instead, and maybe they'll figure it out a different way, and then they'll come back and they'll have a little more.
So it's a lot of, yeah, so what I understand, it's a lot of like the world will kind of guide the players and that kind of, to like the different puzzles and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So like a lot of people have played it, they're like, I didn't know why I was doing something or what I was doing, but I never felt lost or it still felt intuitive. So like I really want people to just feel like they're kind of on their own little adventure and not just being pointed where to go.
Yeah, it sounds like, well, I think that's a really good feedback from people, right? It sounds like you struck the right balance of kind of guiding players almost subconsciously to different parts. That's awesome.
Yeah, and like showing at events like this has been super useful, and like finding those areas where I thought I was doing that and it doesn't quite come across. So making changes. So yeah, it's been great watching people.
Nice. So is this your first public showing of the game, or have you had it at other events?
So we showed it at Gamescom last month in Germany, and then this is the first time in Japan, and my first time in Japan.
Oh wow, okay.
But So
you're not based in Japan then, I guess?
No, I'm in United States in Chicago.
Okay, wow.
And then Dan, my partner, he's in Seattle.
Hi, Dan.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Wow, it's amazing that you could come out to Japan.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I was so I run a YouTube channel with another co-host, and so we have been like big fans of your game. When we first saw it released, we were like, "Whoa, this looks incredible!" So
Thank you
I
so
was
much.
so surprised to see your game here, and I was like, "Well, if there's one person I have to interview, I'm going to go over to Animal Well and see." So
thank you.
yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're fans, and it's always really good to hear that people have like heard about the game because we've been trying to get it out there. And, that's wonderful to hear.
Yeah. What platforms is it going to be released on?
So far, we've announced PlayStation 5 and Steam or PC. Yeah.
Can I ask, any Switch plans?
I think Switch is cool, but we haven't announced anything
Sure.
yet. Yeah.
Fair enough. Do you have any price points right now, or are you still kind of analyzing that?
We're still figuring out. We're still
Still figuring it out.
Still figuring out.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, is there any other things, if you could say one thing about the game to kind of hook people, what do you think that would be?
Oh, that's a good question. But I think really just like if you like games that like have like just lots of secrets and lots of layers to uncover, and that maybe there's going to be things in there it might take years to find, and you just want a good quality game about exploring a creepy well. Then yeah, I think you'll like Animal Well.
Okay.
And yeah, I've been dumping a lot of time into making this game, and I want it to be good, and I think it'll be good. So you just gotta trust me on that.
I mean, if it plays and is as good as it looks, then it should be amazing.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, everyone, we'll see you in the next one. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Game Club. I am Graham, and we're doing an interview here on Sheba. Is that right?
Yes.
On Sheba, and can you tell me a little bit about who you are and a little bit about your game?
Thanks for the interview. My name is Harun Mansouri. I'm from Kashkul Games. We are an indie game studio based in the United Arab Emirates, Abu Dhabi. We're currently working on our first game, which is Sheba: A New Dawn. It is an action RPG Metroidvania type of game in which it talks about and somehow of Arabian culture and folklore, combining it with Metroidvania with an action RPG combat style. So the game talks about how the jinn invaded the human realm and how they broke the barrier that separates the two of these creatures apart. And they will be, and he will, the main character Inar will be possessed by a jinn called Mira, and the main task of his journey will be to get her out of his body, to get rid of this possession. However, midway through the game, you will find out that this is the least of his problems, and then things will go sideways, and it will be more complex.
Okay. So you say it's an action game and a Metroidvania. Are there any games in particular that have inspired you guys that you're kind of modeling your game more closely to than others?
Our main inspiration was Castlevania Symphony of the Night, a very old game. And of course, Hollow Knight is considered to be one of the best in the Metroidvania genre. But we tried to have these as inspirations in terms of the Metroidvania elements. However, we wanted to introduce our culture into it and how we think as a Metroidvania game that is combined with what people already know, hoping that to bring something new to the market.
Sure.
Well, if it was a local or international market, hopefully.
Sure. Yeah. Well, that's cool. It'll be interesting to see, different parts of the world and how they view different games and with their takes on those genres. That's really interesting. How much of your game would you say, because you say it's based on some like real historical things, is that right, to a degree? How much would you say is fiction and how much would you say is more based in reality?
I would say 70% fiction and 30% reality. However, the fiction part is built on some real concepts. So, for example, the jinn is a real concept that is in that part of the world, our region. However, we made a fantasy story and how these jinn are interacting with the humans and what part of magical powers that will be available in the game that is, of course, not available in the real world at that time. And the Sheba, the name itself, is an ancient civilization that has been in the Arabian Peninsula around 1500 BC. So we also took that part and tried to combine it with different elements. We have the boss fights. The bosses are actually the folklore from A Thousand Nights and some folklore from other stories of the historical Arab world.
Wow. Well, that's super cool. I love seeing games that take like folklore from things like, Greek folklore and like mythology is very common, right?
Yes.
So it's very cool to see games that are focused on like different folklore from around the world. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that. What platforms are you planning on bringing the game to?
We're hitting mainly on Steam.
Okay.
However, we are in the process of creating the game on consoles as well.
Okay.
We just need to solve some technical issues as a small team is a bit difficult to do.
Understandable.
Yeah. So we're hopefully to release on consoles, but we're mainly focusing on Steam right now.
Okay.
And our Steam page is actually live.
Okay, perfect. So, and it's again the game name is Sheba.
Sheba, A New Dawn.
A New Dawn. Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Awesome. Do you guys have a price point that you guys are targeting right now? Or are you still thinking about it?
We are thinking about $20 to $25.
Okay.
Hopefully $20 for the fans there.
Sure.
But it all depends. But yes, from $20 to $25.
Okay, awesome. Anything else you'd like to say about the game? Maybe something to hook anyone thinking or considering it?
You're quite difficult questions you ask me. Well, I would say that our game is based on abilities and combat system. We have the combat system where it's a bit of maybe traditional where you mix and match your combos. But I can say that all of these are unlockable through secret passages and secret doorways that you need to find out. So if you like Metroidvania style, where exploration is your main thing, so maybe you can check us out.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I
Appreciate it.
appreciate it.
All right, thank you everyone. We'll see you in the next one. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Graham with the Game Club. I am looking at The Night Witch with one of the developers here. So, could you tell me a little bit about your game and who you are and your role on the team?
Yeah, my name is Enrique. I was one of the artists behind all the art in the game, of course. And The Night Witch is a very interesting title, I think. It's our 5th game as a team. And it's a Metroidvania with shoot 'em up and card deck building mechanics.
Okay.
And a big story. It's also big on the story too, that's very important. So it's probably at first sight you might think, okay, this wouldn't work together, maybe? But it's an interesting mix, and it actually does work very well together. So yeah.
Yeah, I was playing a little bit of it. It reminded me initially of, if you've heard of Pixel Junk Shooter at all.
I have, yeah.
You have, yeah. It reminds me a lot of that, which is a great thing because I think that's like the pinnacle of kind of twin stick shooting. So to see the game operate so well in that kind of method was really, really cool. So to seeing a cool blend of like Metroidvania and twin stick it was really good. My first impressions were really, really good.
Nice.
But the other thing I was really surprised about was the deck building aspects. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's an interesting mechanic because usually, in this kind of arcades, because sometimes what you do is just select which spell or special power you want to use, and it sticks in the same button all the way.
Right.
But this time it gets shuffled.
Right.
It's like a proper deck, like cards game actually. And that makes it very interesting because you need to deal with the enemies and enemy bullets and such. And at the same time, just take a look at your deck and see what you have at your disposal, and use them right. Some cards are very situational, some are weapons, some are there are lots of different things you can do with your own deck.
Right.
You want a more defensive approach, you can do that. You want a more offensive approach, you can do that too.
Right.
So yeah, it makes your character building like a completely new dimension, I think.
Yeah, I was really impressed that they weren't all just like spells or abilities, like attack-wise. They were like, sometimes they buffed you and stuff, like you said.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's cool to see the different cards shuffle through because you're right, like it keeps it dynamic, and then you have like a kind of a resource that you get and spend and use. So yeah, it was really cool. I think it's a great foil to that kind of combat system. It was very nice.
All right.
And so where is your studio based?
We are all Spanish, but we don't have an office. We work remotely.
Remotely, okay.
So we've been doing that for like 12 years already.
Okay.
So yeah, not because of the pandemic or anything.
Sure.
So yeah, we like it that way, and we'll probably keep it that way for sure in the future, yeah.
Wow. Or what platforms are you looking to target right now?
Pretty much everything, even toasters, a toaster that can run our game.
A fridge?
Yeah, for instance.
Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
Let me know, yeah.
Sure.
We'll do the port, yeah, for sure.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, pretty much everything, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Next Gen too, Series X,
Sure.
Switch, and PC.
Okay, excellent. And what price point? Do you guys have a price point yet? Are you talking about that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's $20 pretty much. Yeah.
$20. Okay,
Yeah.
well, it's very fair price.
All right.
Well, the art is absolutely gorgeous. So you said you're working on the art. How big is the team right now for the whole game?
We are 6 people.
6 people.
Well, 7 and you count, the audio, the music guy.
Right.
Which is the same one who did the soundtrack for Tentem, a big indie big hit.
Yes.
He's fantastic. The soundtrack is awesome.
Okay.
You'll see. But yeah, 7 people in total. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. And when do you guys have a targeted release window or date yet?
Still hasn't been announced, unfortunately, but we are aiming for this autumn for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys on Steam right now for people to wish list?
Yeah, of course, we are on Steam. Please wishlist us because it's very important. Yeah, please do.
Well, I know I was so impressed. I'll definitely be wish listing it. So it's great to see. Is there anything that you would add to like hook people into the game? Something that you would think would be really interesting for people to hear about it?
Yeah, I mean, we hope to attract the people, for the graphics maybe.
Yes.
Then we'll keep you going on for the story. It's a big point. I mean, of course, Metroidvania with car building mechanics, that's something very interesting at first sight. But the story, man, it's very good, you'll see.
Excellent. Yeah, I did see some of that blend of like gameplay and story. So hopefully that all turns out well. If the story is as good as it looks and plays, then I'm sure the whole package will be great. So.
It is.
Okay.
You'll see, yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you having an interview with me.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. And thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Please let us know if any of these games caught your attention. We'd love to know. We have more dev interviews on the way, so if you don't want to miss out, make sure to subscribe. But with that, we'll catch you on the next one.